lounging, son.
Welcome back to the Comic Lounge. My name is Ryan, and with me today, I got my bud Adam Lemnah with me. We are going to be going through his awesome book, Relic Hunter. Came out from Cosmic Lion Productions. Our friend, our homeboy Eli, is the publisher of Cosmic Lion, and super stoked to be able to go through this with you. I know, I mean, we had an indie creator spotlight a while ago. Probably, I'm assuming it's probably been about a year. I can't. Time is weird. At that point, you only had like that little like ash can type book that you did. I'll let you give the backstory on Relic Hunter real quick.
Yeah, so basically how it sort of came to be was like I've always been like a huge fan of the Savage Sword of Conan. In 2021, I was like kicking around like a bunch of ideas. I had just done a story for Wizard 2 with Eli, and I was trying to come up with something that would be a little bit longer term. Mm-hmm. And I knew that I wanted it to be something like barbarian centric, because that's sort of like that's just always been something that I've been like really into. I did a preliminary piece and people responded really well to it. I wrote the beginning of the story and just sort of like dove in, and I got through a few pages and I was feeling really good, and I was going to I wanted to figure out how to like get it out to people, and I knew that I wanted to do it through Instagram and sort of serialize it, and I saw what the guys were doing on Next Panel Press. So I reached out to Eli and to Rick and to Craig, and I spoke to them, and I told them, that I would really love to be part of Next Panel Press, because I really liked what I was seeing. I loved Cosmic Cat, and I really thought that it was such a great idea to do one page every other week. I thought it was something that I could keep up with. And I also thought that it was great to have all of us together to sort of like reach a larger audience. They brought me on board, and I did that for a while, and I got to 13 or 14 pages in, and we have a Facebook Messenger group, and we talk all the time, and Jerome Cabanatan put together a bootleg version of the first like 12 pages or so. I had shown them like a PDF, and I was like, oh, I'm thinking about putting this together as a book. I don't know, like as an ash can to sell. I've never done this before. I don't even know how to put a book together really, but I'm, sort of just like figuring out
do
it. And Jerome grabbed the PDF and printed it out and put it together and was like, dude, I was like, this is amazing. And it looked incredible. And so I put together the ash can, and people responded really well to it. And I sold a bunch of them. I mean, I sold out the first print run of 50 through my Etsy store. And then I did a second print run. I did the original in red, and then I did subsequent covers in blue and green. And I'm not exactly sure how many copies I've sold, but it's more than 75, close to 100. I'm not 100% sure. I have to look at the numbers, but I did some in stores, and I did LA Comic-Con, and people responded really well. After getting back from Comic-Con, I talked to Eli about it, and I was getting to the point where I had like 19 or 20 pages done of it at that point. And I was like, look, I'm going to be done with this somewhat soon, and I want to put it out with you if you want to do that. And he was really excited about it. And he was like, send me the book when you finish with it, and we'll take a look at it, and we'll see, we'll see. And so I finished the main story, and I had some of the guys from Next Panel Press do some pinups, which are freaking awesome.
Yeah, they're really good.
And I had talked to Manny Gomez and to Rick Lopez about doing a backup story, because I'm a huge fan of Grimjack, and I've always wanted to do like a Munden's Bar backup. I brought them on to do that, and eventually we got the book put together, and Eli was down, and now you see it in front of you.
Yeah, got a dope cover by Misimo.
Oh yeah, man. Well, he did the color for us so fast, and it's just so good.
He's so good at coloring,
life, man.
Yeah. It's a great collaboration between you two for sure.
Oh, thanks, man.
Yeah.
So this, obviously the title page here is definitely inspired by Savage Sword of Conan. Eli and I had talked about it. We wanted to sort of do like a paragraph or two to sort of like give people an in into the story.
Yeah.
And I really wanted it to feel like when you open up the book that you're opening up a, a copy of Savage Sword from like 1978 or something like that.
Is this
Like,
Eli that designed this?
no, I designed that.
That's really good.
Oh, thanks, man.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of nerd about that stuff, paper stock design. I think that's why I love Jim Rugg so much because I
Oh
really
yeah.
love his design sense with every project he does. But I flipped that first page and I was like, oh, this is a really, really nice designed like credits type thing. And I'm like, and then in my head, I'm like, you're such a fucking nerd, really.
But that's the thing, man. I'm
Yeah.
really into that stuff too. And when I was making the ash can, I had studied paper stocks a ton because I wanted it to have that feel of newsprint. And I found and sourced a newsprint company called French Paper in Michigan, and they're amazing. And I was able to get some newsprint for that. And so it's all about for this. It's also about the aesthetic as much as it is about the story and about the art and about all of that. And so I really wanted it to be a whole package. And so this first page, Hawks over Aleppo, that's a homage to a John Buscema Savage Sword of Conan story called it's Hawks over something. I forget what the actual the Buscema story is, totally escaping my name my brain right now, but this is a homage to that. And I wanted to open with something that people would sort of identify with that sort of aesthetic and that idea and that feel, so that you were instantly into it. You didn't really need like too much to get rolling.
Look, I look. This is just so good, dude. I remember seeing the art and on because I got one of the ash cans. I think I was like, it was the first round of ash cans.
Totally.
Sure. I know I got that, but
yeah, these first pages, I really wanted to up my game, and it's funny because when Eli and I were putting this together, one of the things we talked about it, because my style evolved as it's going to whenever you do like a book like this, especially because this is my first like full-length book. I feel like I definitely leveled up throughout the process. And so going back through these early pages, we talked, he asked me if I wanted to redo any of the art, and I kind like part of me wanted to, but part of me was like, no, I'm going to leave it like this. I want people to see the progression as we go through, because it's like anybody can draw comics, man. Like that's the whole idea. That was the thing that inspired me. Like I don't think that I'm like this great comic book artist or anything like that. I just wanted to inspire other people to make more comics that they want to see, and I just wanted to make something that I wanted to see. And so I felt like it was important to keep like these early pages that are maybe like a little bit more scratchy or a little bit more where I'm trying to like figure out the style and things like that.
yeah, I
So
think
that
it's. I mean, it's also like, isn't like you said, like you're drawing a page every 2 weeks.
yep.
So it's like you're definitely, and I'm sure you're also drawing other stuff in between, So you're definitely like, there's going to be a lot. It's going to be more drastic, probably page to page growth as opposed to somebody that's drawing like a book in a month, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Because, we all in Next Panel Press, we all have day jobs. None of us are professional cartoonists. Well, I guess some of us are
Full
now,
time.
but
You're not full time.
full time. Exactly. And so, I mean, it's like, as you go, you definitely, I'm sketching every day and I'm trying to get better every day. And one of the things that I wanted to focus on with this book, because I'm such a big fan of Buscema and because he was such an incredible figure artist, that was one of the things that I wanted to start focusing on, was like learning how to draw the figure better. And what better way to do that than an action comic,
Yeah, I love this particular page too. The close up of
Oh,
the hand with the fucking jewel.
Yeah,
So
it's one of those things where it was like I wanted it to look exotic. I wanted there to be a touch of magic. I wanted there to be a touch of adventure
this
and
looks like an
mystery.
Egyptian eye, by the way.
Yeah, I love that. So that was like part of it too. I had done that in the original piece, and it was sort of like I didn't know, I didn't want to like I said it during the Crusades, right? It was always sort of like I wanted it to be set in a time that felt like real but not real, barbarian but not really barbarian, like I wanted it to have like a sort of a sense of like grounding in reality, but I also wanted it to have this sense that this character had sort of traveled and was coming back and had some like foreign sort of like exotic influence at that
Sure.
point. Yeah, these pages were, I was super happy. It's so funny, like looking back at this, like seeing the pages, because like you go through it again and again and again and again, and eventually you stop seeing like you stop seeing the forest for the trees, and you're looking for all the flaws so that
Uh-huh.
everything can be perfect. But looking back at this, like I remember like each one of these pages, I remember where I was and what I was thinking. And like this page on the left, I was just so happy with the way that like sitar playing dude looked. When I drew it, I was like, this is the best face I've ever drawn. It's like
It's a
one of
good,
those
that's a good,
things.
that's a good face right
Yeah.
there.
I love that dude. I was like, this looks great. I was really nervous about drawing Jamila, the love interest in the story, because yeah, but like I just didn't think I was like that great of a figure artist, and I really wanted it to look good. It was scary, but I was really happy with how some of this stuff came out.
I love the decision to arm
Yeah,
printing.
man. I mean, like, come on, this is the Middle Ages. There's
I
no
know, I know. It's just like, look, dude, you don't really. I mean, Red Sonja should have it too, then, right? I mean, she doesn't. I just thought that when I flipped, I was like, that's a nice little touch, like that's it's grounds it at more realism.
exactly. And I mean, like, I wanted people to also I wanted people to see her and immediately react to her and immediately, as quickly as possible, understand what their relationship was, at least on a superficial level. And then obviously the next page, we're putting her right into danger. So you want to elicit that feeling as quickly as
Yeah,
possible.
great.
And
The eyes is fucking really good too.
man, thank you so much.
Yeah.
It's, Frank Miller, dude, like so inspired. That's the thing. The book is inspired so much by John Buscema, but it's
I
also
know there's so many after Bisa. I didn't realize that before. Like
yeah, man.
look, I glance at next panel press. I love all the guys a part of it. I don't want
Of
anybody to think
course.
I don't, but sometimes I'm like, it's more the hope of like I want to see this in print, and
Oh yeah.
maybe it's selfish on my part. I'm not going to go
No,
out and
not at
print
all.
a bunch of bootlegs either. Like I'll leave that to Jerome. Jerome's the guy for that. Like I'm stoked whenever you guys do it. Like Eli did his Citizens of Alonia, Rick did Cosmic Cat, with his little ash cans that he's done. And now you, and then Jerome obviously has done his one stone. Like I would love to see everybody eventually have all their stuff in print, whether it is just like little ash cans, or complete books. But
Yeah,
it's
man.
so great to see this like off the screen, not in the size of an ash can, like magazine size. It's something to behold for sure. And these are like, and again, like watching like as you go through the book, like you do more action stuff. Like you can see that you're getting more comfortable doing it.
Yeah, these, again, like one of the things that I'm always doing, or that I was always doing here, was going back and like I have the Dark Horse Savage Swords like reprints like right next to me all the time, and I'm always like, as you can see, like marking frames that and panels that I feel are like exciting or interesting, and then trying to learn how Buscema would lay things out and how he would twist the forms. And then sometimes it was like, oh, well, this will fit so perfectly with what I want to do. Then you can frame this entire page around that image, and you begin to get this sense of the world that we're trying to create, the aesthetic that we're trying to create, all of that. And I also wanted to like include, like, obviously, as you can see, like I'm a big fan of manga. I'm a big fan of outlaw comics. I'm a big fan of like that 80s black and white explosion. So like air cell comics, like Warlock 5 and stuff like that. So like I really wanted it to have, I wanted it to feel visceral in that way, like you
Mhm.
were reading something that was maybe a little bit, maybe you shouldn't,
Yeah.
maybe too violent, but I
Uh-huh.
yeah.
No, like look right here. Another great page. I love it. You're getting it from the POV of the dude he's fucking stabbing. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Like the blood, that's blood, right? Like I'm not wrong
Yeah,
in saying it.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
like the blood, like coming out as the knife's going in. Like,
And this is the page on the left where I feel like I first started to like level up with my art. Like I felt more confident when I was drawing the page. I felt more confident drawing his face. It's a more interesting design, I felt like, and it was more difficult too with a character laying on the ground and
agreed, yeah.
everything. So, and this is one that people really seem to respond to. And I really like the way that this page plays with the next page because it gives you a moment to breathe and then we're back on the run again here.
I know you have so much black here, and then it's like a bunch of white on the following page too. It's a nice contrast.
And I really wanted it, I mean, like the story was looser here, and the way that I sort of plotted it was like I have an outline, I know where I'm going, but I also wanted to give myself the freedom to sort of be able to change things along the way. And so I know what I'm going to be drawing for the next page, but I don't have the dialogue written. And so by doing it in that sort of like self Marvel method kind of way, I feel like it gives me the opportunity to experiment and also be more visual in the storytelling. Like that was really what I wanted to get across here, was like I wanted it to feel like even if you didn't know the words, like you know what was happening in the story.
Yeah, I'm also a fan of when you see this, like you have the letters as the panels, and like I love that it's boom and he's breaking apart the M. Like that's good stuff.
Yeah, I mean that's one of my favorite things too. Gotta, had to do it.
Yeah.
It's like maybe a little cliche, but it's okay. I
No,
love
it's
it.
fine, dude. Yeah.
This page, man.
This is great. This sequence of panels running across the rooftop, that's awesome.
I worked on that for so long, man. I'll tell you, I was like, I had tried to do it a different way. I had planned to do it a slightly different sort of way. I wanted it to be a more like more close-ups. So it might have maybe taken a little bit longer, but I was like, you know what? I need to get to some story as well. And then I was thinking, you know what? Let's try and do like a cityscape because I hadn't really shown the city from like a further sense yet. And I love the idea of having them like tracked across with like the little dots and stuff because I'm
Hmm.
like a huge Indiana Jones nerd and stuff like that. And like I was always into that sort of like, oh, let's follow them.
Also introduced to another adversary here. I love this dude coming in. He
All
looks like an evil hippie to me.
That's basically what he is.
Okay. All right.
He's like a metal band
Yeah.
lead singer. Yeah.
Like how menacing he looks right there. I love that it's like all like almost space in his eyes. Like that's pretty fucking dope.
I thought, that was one of those things. I was like, how do I make him seem like he's got knowledge, and has been touched by something darker? And it's also like it sets him apart as a character from everybody else. And I really enjoy drawing him. He's probably my favorite character to draw.
Yeah, I can see that. It's another one. I love this. I love how like the power of the crystal, like how it's like coming up his arm, like in like where it looks like it's infecting him almost.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's dope.
I wanted it to build, like it not I wanted it to feel like organic. So that getting across is good. This is one of my favorite pages. One of the ones that I felt like so proud of because of all the speed lines and
And
everything
the
like
Kirby
that.
crackle too.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it's
Everything
good
came
stuff.
out the way that I wanted it to. This is one of those pages where when you're finished, you're just like, oh, this looks even better than I had expected. And could have hoped. And there are still some things in there. I feel like the hand could have felt like a little less flat and things like that. But overall, like the action feels right. And it
Yes.
feels like you're watching a movie. And that was also part of it too, because obviously, being a filmmaker and being an editor, like I wanted to make this as cinematic as possible. And so I have included a lot of splash pages and a lot of wide panels throughout to give it that sense of scope.
Yeah, no, it's crazy too, because like you can definitely see like I think you'd have to more like look at a page like maybe say from the end to the beginning to really see it, but you can see like the little bits of how like your style is starting to be a little bit more refined. This is another great page too.
I
That's like
was
a
really
good one. That's
afraid
like
of
a
doing
good
it all
page to
black.
like sell, you know?
Oh,
Because you even have like your little signature at the bottom too.
I
Like,
was
that's a good
thinking
piece.
about that, but I just wanted to make everything as interesting as possible
Yeah.
for everybody.
So
Oh,
was this? Did you release this as one thing on Next Panel Press?
yeah, this is
Okay.
one.
I was gonna say, I mean, you can't really release, I guess, like that part by itself. People are like, what the fuck is this?
Dude, I had so much fun doing this page. This was like, I was like, I want this to be my album cover. You know what I mean? Like,
Was this a little bit bigger? Did you? Because I can see your signature. That's your
yes,
signature at the bottom. So this,
it was a little bit bigger. We had to resize it a little bit. It is the full spread is maybe like 10% or 15% maybe bigger on paper, but we had to resize it because the originals are 11 by 17
yeah.
and the book being 8.5 by 11, there was a little bit of along the way we had to do little bits of adjustments. So
Okay.
that was one of the things that we decided to do. It wasn't, you know, at the end of the day, I'm not sure it was the right decision, but I think I wanted, when you look at this, I wanted it to take up the whole page.
Yeah.
I wanted there to be no break, as little as possible. I'm also like a huge fan of like the Jim Starlin Warlock
Okay.
stuff.
I've never read
So
that stuff. So
it's I, the story's less so than the actual artwork, but I mean, like I love them, and that and like I love Wally Wood. I love science fiction comics, so I also wanted to incorporate that somehow. And I was like, how do we do this in a way that like, because like my wife and my wife and I will always be talking as I'm doing this stuff, and we're like, well, maybe people aren't gonna, you can't breathe in space, but whatever, it's magic, it's
yeah,
fine.
I accepted it. I didn't question it at all when I was reading it. Like, how's he breathing right now? I'm like, no, he's in space. What he's doing? No, these are some of my favorite. I love the double page and then these two in space. I think they're just phenomenal. This right here, the fucking blood.
Yeah, man, you got to keep the blood flowing,
That's right, dude.
keep it exciting.
Fucking A, dude.
And so here we go. Like I got to that point and I was like, you know what? I feel like people at this point, like even myself, I was like, I need to get a little of the backstory here.
Mm-hmm.
And I talked to I was talking to Tony Wolf about this recently, and we were talking about transitioning from the story to the flashback here. I think maybe I should have changed the panel borders or something like that to make it a little bit more clear. When we
Or you
hop
should have,
into
or you
flashback,
should have had a box at the top.
yeah, I wanted to avoid that.
All right, I
Like,
guess I'm just yeah. There should have been something, yeah, probably to signify. I guess
but
now
that's
that
one of
you're
the things
mentioning
that you learn as you go
it. For
on.
sure, for sure.
You
No,
know what I
I
mean?
get it.
It's like, and I was really excited about these pages because they gave me a chance to do some more like city stuff after doing some space stuff, but it also gave me the chance to create these other characters and sort of like enrich the world a little bit. And
Yeah,
I
the
was also,
faces, dude. You're like, yeah, your faces are getting like even better too.
thank you, looking at a lot of Kelly Jones while I was working on this stuff and just trying to absorb a more expressive and emotive look to people's faces. And it's so hard to draw, like when you first start drawing, just drawing the face with any expression, you feel good, you know?
Yeah.
But you've got to get it to the point where the storytelling matches what's going on. And I had to do a lot of sketching ahead of time for these faces to really refine them. It's funny, the little things that like I was really happy with the way the folds on his cloak look on the left hand page,
Yes.
and the way that the arm reaching out to him looks on the right hand page, even though
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
totally like kind of out of proportion and everything. Like
Yeah,
I really
whatever.
wanted to like, these are the things that you learn as you go on with comics, like it doesn't have to be, it's not like a film
I
in that
also
sense.
don't. I don't know. I'm not one to pay attention to proportions either. Like as a reader, like I'm accepting it for what it is. I'm like, yeah, it doesn't look like how it would look, unless it's like something super egregious, where you're just like, that's two left feet on that character.
Yep.
Maybe then I'm like, okay, that looks a little fucking weird. But other than that, I mean, dude, look, people say about Liefeld how he's like his proportions are not
Yeah.
off, and like I don't care. Like I like that art, so I'm gonna
If
keep
you
reading.
like it, you like it, and that's
That's
it,
just
man. And I mean, like, I don't purport to be like, I'm not Brian Boland or something.
yeah.
I'm just
You're
having
also not you're not Alex Ross. You're not trying to do something that looks photorealistic. Like you're making comic book art and it's stylistic. It's not photorealistic.
exactly. And I love that gnarly fingernail.
I love that, and I love this face right here.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I love that. It looks like his mouth is so gigantic, and I love his eyes, man. It's just
Yeah.
like the terror.
Yes.
That stuff, I was like, man, I don't know if this is going to end up looking like a tribal tattoo or not.
Oh, it didn't look like that.
But it
I mean,
really,
now that you say it, now I'm gonna think of it like that when I read it. But I
maybe
didn't
cut that
prior.
out.
Yeah, I didn't prior to this conversation. So
But it really, I also wanted to make, this was an experiment, this page, because I wanted to have a page that if you wanted to, you could read it in any direction, if that
yes,
makes sense.
it does make sense. Yeah, because you can there's no right or wrong way if you look at this page. Like even me, I'm like, okay, where should I look? I'm like, I don't think it really matters.
And you're just sort of like, it's like all happening at once. So,
Yes.
metal, dude. I had to have his skin burn off. I mean, come
Yeah.
on.
So good.
Yeah, now we're getting into sort of like the nitty gritty here at the end of this first story. And, I wanted it to feel like climactic and large scale. And I wanted to introduce what Aladu is going to look like in the future. And so, like, now we have like this Ghost Rider flaming skull badass wizard.
I love it, dude. Because I mean, Ghost Rider is one of my favorite characters. I think it's like one of the best designs of any comic book character ever. A flaming skull on a motorcycle.
Exactly.
I don't know how anybody could not like that, but I mean that's whatever. But I love this. These are really good pages too. Dude. I love how they're like both floating and like in the air, like kind of squaring off almost, but not like there's the energy is between them. It's really dope.
That skeleton hand, I was super excited about.
Yeah, you did a good job.
And it's one of those times when you finish it and you're like, oh, I feel like I've leveled up a little bit. This is something new. And then here we go. This is the final page where Aladu blasts Asif into the future. And that's where we pick up in issue 2, which is serializing on Next Panel Press right now. And it takes place in 1984 New York City, and gives me a chance to draw some really gnarly junkies at the beginning.
Yeah, I can't wait for that to be in print. I've scoped out some pages, obviously. Like I'll
Sure.
glance at them. I mostly just look at the art. I'm not like reading story points
Oh,
at this
sure.
point. I usually say that's what I usually say. Like I'll look at the art, I won't read it. Always. I do sometimes. I'm not trying to say I don't everybody thinking I don't read their stuff.
No,
But
no.
like I mostly just like look at the art because I don't like reading on
When your
tablets.
art
It's
is
hard.
this big,
It's
it's
also
like,
really hard for me to like want to read on a computer or a phone
oh,
or anything. Like I'd rather I stare at a screen enough during the day.
we grew up holding the books, and that to me is like a big part of it. Like I
Yeah.
just having it in your hand is so good.
So here we go, dude. The pinups. Anton William Blake over here.
Yeah, man.
Jesco Morg.
Uh, every one of these guys I have to thank, because they created something that each time just blew me away, man. Tony Wolf, like,
I love Frazetta. So when I already knew what it was before. I didn't need to be told it was a Frazetta
yeah,
homage, But this is fucking great, dude.
yeah, that's one of the ones where I was like, dude, again, like we talk about it because Tony wasn't sure, what he wanted to do for it, and we sent images back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and just like to get like an aesthetic eye and stuff. And he sent me the image that this is based on, and I was like, yeah, absolutely, that's it.
Alex Delaney.
Yeah, man, with the Wolverine 7 homage there. I believe it's
Yep.
Wolverine 7.
I think you're right, yeah.
I'm such a huge Indiana Jones fan, and when he drew this, I was like, I have this hanging on my wall, man.
Yeah.
I love it so much. And of course, Ken's as well.
And
Ken,
Landgraf, dude. Hell yeah. So good.
man, and Ken was the best to work with. He was not only was he like fast, but he was also like so creative. And in the end, when he sent me the art, he also included the sketches that he had done on the tracing paper and stuff. And I was just like, oh man, like I put that stuff away. It's like I never even want to touch it. I'm such a huge fan of Ken's, and just having him in there means so much to me because it draws a line from his work to what we're doing now. And I feel like there's so much in common with the aesthetic. It works so well. He just blew me away, man.
Yeah, he did a great job. Got a pinup by yourself right here.
Yeah, that's the original pinup that I
Nice.
did. It's a little different because originally I had conceived this as more of like an Indiana Jones style book, but it's sort of as I played with the idea more, I wanted to move that focus away from like a literal relic to a more metaphorical sort of thing, but also still have that, with the jewel, still have that connection to like a literal relic. Whatever, it's nerdy.
I'm very partial to this one. That Craig,
Oh
you put Craig Kimball, but I mean Craig CK is like what I call him. I can't help it. I
yeah.
love everything about this cover. First of all, his fucking hand hurts. I, I love that he put that on the fucking cover, dude. He did, and I love that he does, because anybody that knows Craig knows what a huge Archie head he is.
Yes.
So I love that he did it in this style.
He
So good.
nailed it so well. And and of course, obviously, you can get this as a poster, full color, with the book, and it's super exciting. I mean, when it came time to put it together and get it printed, Eli was like, well, do you want to do a poster? Do you want to have something like that? And immediately it was like, Craig. I
Yeah.
want Craig's.
Yeah, it's so good, dude. Got our homeboy Jerome Cabanatan. I'm assuming this is all ballpoint pen ink.
Yes. And it was on a backing board.
That's
And
his signature move, dude. He's always doing it
yeah,
on backing boards, because he said every time I've talked to him, he's like, I got to get through these boxes of pens that I
yeah.
have before I start buying better tools. So this is why he draws what he draws.
I love it, dude.
Yeah.
It is so dynamic and so like it takes the idea and it feels like hard, so hard. That's such a metal image, dude. I
Mm-hmm.
love it.
And then we got the backup story, like you said, like the Munden's bars, like Grimjack. We got Manny Gomez writing and Rick Lopez on art, dude.
This is, to me, I mean, when I went to Manny, I didn't want anybody else. I knew immediately, as soon as I wanted to do this backup story, I knew that I wanted Manny to write it, and I knew that I wanted Rick to draw it. And initially we had talked about a 4-page story, and Manny wrote it out. I did a little editing on it and I sent it along to Rick. And when we were talking about it, when he was breaking it down, it really made more sense to do it as 6 pages because there was so much action that needed to get fit into it that there was no way we could do it in 4 pages.
Yeah.
And you can see here, I mean, like Rick just,
Kills it.
this is a signature Rick Lopez page,
Yes.
man.
Oh, it is, dude. It's fucking amazing.
Oh my God. I can't even, and with this little troll guy in the front, in the foreground, and the girl with the drinks, and like it's just, it feels like you're there, dude. Like you're looking through a window.
No, it's, I mean, look, these pages are just amazing, dude. You got your Gandalf guy over here.
Man, he absolutely blew me away. And I mean, like, every time he would send me an update, I was just like, from the time that he sent me the layouts to the time that he sent me the final art, I just, everything leveled up so much. And it's really interesting. One of the things that we talked about is this Conan.
Yeah.
It's a Paul Galassi, and it has a really interesting fight open. And so he really, I love seeing like the little Galassi-isms mixed with the Rick Lopez-isms in here. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I can see where he took ideas from that and incorporated them without like homaging or anything like that. Everything is Rick Lopez, but there's little moments like that chair, like the or table flying.
Yeah.
I just love it so much, man. It's so perfect.
I mean, dude, everything, dude. The slamming of the fucking mug down on the fucking table. These 4 panels right here.
The
like
close-ups on their mouths,
yeah,
laughing. You know what I mean? It's like you can see that in your mind.
Yeah.
As a like cinematically, it works so well. And just leaving a trail of bodies, like how else could you end it?
Yeah, that's great. It's so good.
It had to have the blood, man. And I love all of Rick's hand lettering in this is unbelievable. The way that he did end and the way that he did the original, if you go back to the original, to the lettering on the first page, like that font, when I saw it, I was like, oh my God, killed it, dude.
I know. He's really good, dude. Yeah, it's a
So
fun little story, and like Rick just kills it, dude.
But the thing is, too, I don't want to shortchange Manny either.
No.
Like
No,
Rick's art is so amazing, and it brings Manny's story to life. And Manny, when I went to him, I was like, you can do whatever you want. Like, it doesn't, this is your story. You know what I mean? I'm hands off as long as it's set in the world. Like he knows Grimjack, he knows Munden's Bar, he knows what to do for something like that. And the story that he came back with was so perfect. And like, I love the little, like the homage to Reservoir Dogs with Riverside Hounds. It's just perfect, man. Just
introducing Piscor.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a good little touch.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. That's another pinup. And then you have the reliquary. You got the whole backstory on yourself. You kind of already gave a little bit of this story, so I'll let everybody who picked up the book kind of read this for yourself. But it's a nice little touch that you did. I love that you add some of your drawings, pre Relic Hunter. And I think it's a nice insight into like, the creative aspect of yourself. I think that this is stuff I like to see, and it's really additive. It makes this book like it just makes it something more than just a comic book where you get, like nothing else a part of it. I think it'd be cool to maybe get like if people wrote letters and stuff like moving forward.
That's what it will be in future issues. I'm going to put out a call for letters because Manny and I want to make sure, because Manny's writing issue 2 with me. We want to put it out in time for LA Comic-Con this year, because I got invited back for LA Comic-Con, which I'm really excited about doing again. We had such an incredible time last year, and such a great, people were so amazing. And so I think that but with this, I wanted it to give people a little insight to know where I was coming from. And I also wanted to like tell people like you can make a comic. You don't have to be a comic book artist. You just have to keep drawing pages.
Sure.
And that's really what it is, man. You just have to keep drawing.
Yeah, dude. No, like I said, it's very inspiring. It's really cool to kind of like, I mean, I know you, but even there's still some stuff in here that I didn't know, you know? So even if like, you know, if you're watching this and you know Adam, you're still going to learn some stuff that you didn't know prior to this. Cause it's definitely, I mean, look, that's like, what's that? 5 pages. 5 pages.
Yeah. I didn't want to go
through.
like too over crazy, but I was also inspired a bit by some of the other work that I've seen from guys where they have these process essays, and I just really enjoy them myself. And I know that it's not for everybody. Some people may skip it, but you know, that's okay.
No, I read it all. So
And
I dug it. I think most people, I mean, I don't know. Why would you not read it is my opinion. Like it's in the book that you just bought. Why would you not get everything you can out of the book that you just bought? I read forwards, I read afterwards, I read all that stuff, you know? So it's there for a reason. It's not there just to take up space. So definitely, if you pick this book up, which you guys should, definitely read that. Got some other stuff from Cosmic Line Productions. Some of the stuff has been spotlighted.
I feel so lucky to be a part of Cosmic Lion Productions and to have my book in with all these other, frankly, mind-blowing comics. You know, it just like, I'm so grateful, man.
No, dude, it's well deserved. All of these books are worth picking up. Some of them I've spotlighted before. I have a creator commentary of Ghost Agents with Rocco, interviews with Kevin, Tony, Barry Tan has been on the channel too. Steel Philippek has been on the channel. Man. I think I've had everybody on the channel except for I don't want to butcher his name, but Ozon, who did Weird Myth. Yeah, so like that's definitely something I want to do. Yeah, just a lot of good stuff. And we end with Kevin Anthony Catalan's dope drawing. I've seen this in person, so I can attest to how dope this fucking image is. It doesn't fully do it justice on this page, and I'm not. This is not talking trash about the way it was printed.
No,
this is not saying that this was not good quality printing. I'm just saying that you to really absorb this art, to see it in person was fucking awesome. Because that was the first time I saw it. Was I think I saw it, or maybe I saw it online. You probably posted it online first.
Yeah,
you probably did. I don't know. Yeah, it's hard to remember, but I did see it in person when I came to your pad, and yeah, it's phenomenal. He's one of the best fucking artists we have working right now, dude. Like, I'm surprised he hasn't been scooped up by a major publisher yet. I mean,
he will be.
Yeah,
Kevin's.
Look, I mean, it's just crazy. You know what's really crazy? The speed. The speed with which he gets stuff done. Dude,
from the time that we talked to the time that we got that he sent this to me was maybe like a week and a half, and he's like, I'm sorry it took so long. Like, dude, this is fucking incredible.
Yeah, no, it's pretty nuts, dude. But can't say enough about you, Adam. I love your stuff. I'm so glad we got to do this. And I know it's a ways off, but I know we'll be doing another one of these for issue 2 when you drop that. And for everybody watching, make sure you hit the links down below. Adam's links, all his social media links will be down below. A link to buy the book at Cosmic Line Productions will be there as well. Make sure when you pick this up, you check out the rest of the dope stuff over there. And yeah, dude, I'm looking forward to the next one. And thank you for joining me.
Thanks, man. I really appreciate it. I can't wait to come back and talk about 2. I can't wait for people to see it. If you want to see the pages as they come out, follow Next Panel Press, or follow me, or follow us both. That's probably the best thing to do. If you pick up the book, take a picture. Let me see. I want to see how people react to it, because that to me is like the most exciting thing.
Oh yeah. And also, don't forget to subscribe to the Comic Lounge so you can stay up to date on all dope content that I put out. Me and Manny, who wrote the backup story. Him and I do a lot of stuff as well. And on that note, we're out.